I want to make it clear before we look at this video from Flipping Old School that I have nothing to do with mole slippers going up in price, okay? I don't know what you're talking about. I have not invested in mole slippers. I just report the news. Modash sends me the Grand Exchange content. I send it to Rune News. Wade Green has a look at it. That's it. Okay, so I don't need people flooding my DMs, my comment sections when I upload a tier list, and all I get is, instead of comments on, wow, great tier list, thanks for the content, it's, have you seen the mole slippers? They need an immediate assessment. No, they don't need an immediate assessment. What you need to do is shut up and just hold on to them. Invest if you want to. Okay, you don't need to keep tagging me on fucking Twitter, okay, because I'm not going down for market manipulation on something I have nothing to do with, all right? I have a pair of mole slippers on my group Ironman. I don't have any in my hardcore. Leave me alone, all right? Stop trying to fuck with me. Just invest. You haven't made a profit until they hit the 30 mil mark, which is meant to be happening by the end of next year, by the way, guaranteed or unsubscribed. But I don't know what you, I mean, that's just what I've heard. It's a rumor, okay? Next year, by the end of next year, they'll be worth more than prims. But let's have a look at the Flipping Old School video, see what he has to say.
There's no doubt that there's something weird happening in the Old School Runescape market this month. Before September, we had one item in the game that was worth over...
I feel like every Old School video starts off, there's no doubt something weird's happening in the market. Of course.
Maximum cash stack of 2.1 bill.
How many on my main?
3 weeks later, and now we have 4 items over that amount with a whole sector of the market exploding.
I feel like the axe hasn't ever been max cash stack, but the Druidic top and the road bottoms have always been max cash stack. Is that correct? I know the Pickaxe always has been, but the Druidic road top has always been pretty close to max, right? Or has that always been around 1 bill? The axe definitely hasn't been that high for, I don't think, ever. But you could even blame that on just the Forestry update, just people, you know, having a goof. But I'd imagine it's, I mean, I don't know what's going on, obviously, but a buy limit of 40 is ridiculous. Someone did sell a Pickaxe the other day, though, for 2 bill, which is insane and stupid. Someone said it was because they didn't want to get scammed, which seems impossible because they have plat tokens, so you can't get scammed. But, you know, you lost a couple bill there. Easy game. People are probably cornering the market. Yeah, because the third age market is so heavily fucking scrutinized, of course.
You kind of out of nowhere, so we have a lot to talk about.
That's insane.
Now, just in the last couple of days, the third age market has been doing some really weird things.
Longsword's 900
every single
mil.
piece of rare third age item has shot up tremendously just in the
Wow.
few days. Like, for example, here's the third age Druidic top, which had been pretty steady at 1.6.
There you go, that
bill,
answers my question.
But all of a sudden, it shoots up to above max cash in just a week.
The question is, though, how many are being traded, right? If you go third age, Druidic, rope top, if it's like 1 or 2 being traded, then it's just like 2 assholes flipping on the market between each other. What? What? There we go. Sorry. Thought we were getting locked out for a second there. Wouldn't have been fun. So, when it loads, please. I don't think they want us to know about it, boys. Look at that. But we can't tell. Let's see if you can see it in the video. Look, you've got... They're shot up here, okay? But there's only 4 being traded, right? This is 5. So it literally could just be 2 people trading back and forth. You could do it between your own account, right? Even. Like, if you had 2 accounts, just trade back and forth, and you could just shoot the market up for no reason and make it look like you're manipulating it. Let's be real. Is that not how it would work? Oranges sell, bluers buy. See, that's really all there could be. There's not that many being traded. If there was like 50, then yeah, I would say so. But this could just be 1 or 2 assholes just flipping constantly. Big third age traders trying to hide the secrets. Probably, yeah. They're what they're doing, right? Is it's probably like 3 or 4 people trading it between each other on the Grand Exchange. Obviously taking a risk of someone possibly snatching it from them, but trading it between themselves on the Grand Exchange to drive the price up, to then argue to people that it's worth trading for more than the max cash stack to make even more money than what they're currently worth on the Grand Exchange, right? So if I had a third age rope top worth 1.6 bill, and I had a couple mates with max cash stack, and we trade it on the Grand Exchange, now it's worth more. Now I can argue that it's worth 2.5 bill. Who are you going to judge? Because you can't argue that because it's maxed out in the Grand Exchange. So now I'm going to sell it to you for 2.5 bill when really it's only 1.6 bill. That's likely what's going on here, really. Just because it's clearly, there's not enough trading here, in my opinion, for it to be justified. with how consistent it's been at that rate the whole time. There's probably just a couple of assholes trying to drive it up to make a bit more money.
But all of a sudden, it shoots up to above max cash in just a week, with it actually allegedly selling for 3 bill on
There you go.
RuneScape forum.
You see? You know why you can sell it for 3 bill? Because the Grand Exchange says it's max cash tag, which isn't enough.
So it shot
How
up
convenient.
over double in a week, which is an unheard of increase when you think about it. 1.5 bill increase in a single week.
Yep.
What other item in the game can you say that has happened to? Well, this item, which not as drastically, but pretty much the exact same thing happened to the 30.
That's a little more consistent.
Once again, it had remained
There's a lot more being traded.
1.6 bill for a few months, but out of nowhere, it shot up from 1.6 bill to max cash on the GE tracker. Presumably would even sell for more than this. So we've had 2 items shoot past the max cash amount in under a week. We have the Third Age Axe, which also hit the max cash amount.
See, that's different. That's more consistent growth. But I would say this is also due to Forestry. But also, look, once it hit max cash stat, you've got 1 being traded constantly. Like, there's no consistency here. But I would say that's likely because of the Forestry update, because you can get 2-handed axes, and having a 200 Third Age Axe would be baller.
In September, albeit a bit earlier. This item is rumored to be going above 3 bill as well. And of course, we have the Third Age Pickaxe, which has been there for a long time, going for 6 bill plus. Anyway, we covered that in my last video, actually.
Yeah. Look at that! 60 fucking... Look at this little gap here. This has got to be, what, TOA? 2001? Yeah, this has got to be like TOA shit, right? Look at that. Look how many Third Age Pickaxes are being traded right there. That is disgusting. Disgusting.
Going for 6 bill plus. Anyway, we covered that in my last video, actually. But it's not just these items at the top here. Every other single piece of Third Age has shot up incredibly quickly.
Yep.
The Third Age Druidic Cloak, that's gone from 6.
Look at that. See, there's a lot more consistent trades. I would say they're probably being influenced by the bigger items being worth more as well. This is only how much? Oh, well, that's 1.7 mil. I thought it was 1.7 mil. Yeah, that seems a lot more consistent. There's a lot more being traded. Probably because people had a lot more. They bought a lot more lower. So that way you can trade a lot at a higher volume between your mates to make it higher. This is what it would be. It'd just be clans and assholes just driving it up between each other, I would say. Can I on the hardcore? I got the hardcore on the other screen.
Mil up to almost 2 bill for a couple of sales. Literally almost hit max cash on its own, albeit that's dropping a bit. The Third Age Bow went up from 800 mil to 1.34 bill, almost doubling in price.
Yeah.
The Third Age Longsword's gone from 400 mil up to 1.1 bill at its peak. And we have the Third Age Wand, which is currently at 600 mil, but has shot up 5 times in value. Like,
that's
what
insane.
The hell is going on? Now, I think there's a couple factors going on here, but I think it really stems from this item here, the Third Age Pickaxe. With this item increasing so quickly and going
so this is bullshit. Like 6.9 bill, 7 bill. If you pay this kind of money, you're out of your mind. Like this is like being. It's a little bit different because people are more, I guess, narrow-minded in RuneScape. But it's like this is because someone just said 7 bill. Someone's like, I'm selling it for 7.1 bill. So this asshole's gone 6.5 bill because that's more than enough. 6.9 bill because it's less than 7.1 bill. 6.2 bill because it's less than 7.1 bill. 6 bill. You know, this guy's selling it down here for 3.95 bill. You can see underneath behind me. That looks like a 3.95 bill, 21st September. So it looks like that's been slowly cut out. Yeah, just zooming in. I don't know if we can see it a little bit better. But that's really all you're looking at there. Look at that. 3.9 bill behind me there. You know? So that doesn't mean you're selling it for 6.5 bill. That could be up there for a while. It's like selling a car. Oh, my car's worth 12 grand. Why? Because someone else's car that's the same as you is worth 12 grand. Or has slightly less Ks and is worth 13 grand. You're not going to sell it for 12 grand. You're going to get 8. You're going to get 9 for it, surely. You know? They're all posted by the same person. That's also very true, actually. I didn't even notice that. Look at that. So he's just posting different margins until he gets a fucking trade. I didn't even notice it was the same person. Wouldn't be the peeps and converter to... Sorry... Wouldn't be that peeps and convertier to learn from leads. I don't know what that means, dude. I have no idea what that means. But I would say that pricing a pickaxe for 6.5 bill and selling it for 6.5 bill are 2 completely different things. If you can get that sell, great, but you're not, okay? If you could sell it for 6.5 bill, sure, but you're not fucking selling it for that. Absolutely not. So I wouldn't say it's worth 6 bill until the trade is done. Absolutely.
quickly and going to such unheard of price points of 6 to 8 billion.
Oh, he's the
gold.
merge. Okay, is the reason there's the OP. Okay, would have been people buying out the market and then even more people buying in as the price goes up, and with very few coming into the game, there's way more buying pressure than selling. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, that's fair. Created by different people. Tufty was the last to reply. Okay, so he's last to reply now. Okay, so that's what it is. I don't know how the forums work because I don't use the forum. So Tufty is the last to reply on these trades. So he's going in trying to buy every single one except the 6 build pickaxe. Kind of sus. Yeah, I would say these prices mean nothing until the sale is actually made. You can list it for whatever you want. If no one buys it, it's not worth that. Absolutely not. If your best offer is 4 bill and you won't take it, you got a 4 bill pickaxe, dude.
Quickly and going to such unheard of price points of 6 to 8 billion gold. I think some of the wealthier players in Old School have thought that maybe these hyper rare items could be somewhat similar to party hats in RuneScape, where they could be easily manipulated, or at the very least a good place to park your money long term, because you have to consider how wealthy
I
some
would say
really
this would not be a good place to park your money long term in third age pickaxes or third age gear, because they can drop. You want to know what a good item to park your money in long term is? Okay, this is where you park your money, and if you're not doing it, you should definitely start if you've already got max cash stack. Can I get a GE price, please? This is where you put your money. All right. It's a little item I like to call the. Wait for it to load. Bad gateway. Little item I like to call the Mind Rune. Okay. Recently going for 1 GP. So if you buy Mind Runes and you never use them, they can do, well, arguably if they were still at 1 GP, sure, 2 GP even, you're not really going to lose any money. Okay? You don't use them, you buy 1 million Mind Runes, you've got 1 million gold just in Mind Runes, and then you just sell them when you need them. I would argue not buying them at 3 GP. Maybe, 2 seems pretty consistent, but items like this is a better place to put your money. When it drops to 1 GP, it's almost never, right? So I'd say 2 GP for Mind Runes is a very consistent buy, and that's where you put your money, easily, okay? Just like RuneScape 3, you buy the shards of the 1 GP. Any low tier item that's worth 1 gold, pure essence, put your money into that. If you want to stack cash, put it into fucking third age where you can lose like 300 mil overnight. Hell no. That's a dumb idea. Or just play an Ironman.
They have billions, tens of billions, some people have hundreds of billions of gold. What do you do with it?
The buy limit fucks that a lot. It does, but you could slowly invest into it. You can invest into multiple runes even, or multiple items that are around that point. Buy runes at 3 GP, sell it for 5, 6 GP each. To be honest, Chaos Runes is probably not too bad of an investment either, because maybe before the new scepter came out. But yeah, I think just low tier runes is a good place to just hide your cash if you needed to, for sure, because they're always going to fluctuate up and down between several GP, but you don't have to put hundreds of millions of GP into them. Play Iron and you get to play the game instead of the market. Yeah, exactly.
Buy items because you don't want to just leave it as cash. Now, it's definitely true that the quantity of these items is incredibly low, which makes them very easy to manipulate.
Exactly.
This is not the first time this has happened. This has happened before. Even in Old School, where third age items shot up really quickly, tripling.
Couldn't you just keep GP? So the problem with GP is that this is pretty much almost max cash stack, right? Or this is max cash stack. I don't even know what the number is to be exact, but it's not max cash stack. It's like 9 mil short. Once you have that, you can't get any more GP. So you can have plat tokens, which is totally fun, but people, I guess, just need to have more and more, right? They can't help but invest because they're addicts. It's all about the higher value account I have, the more valuable person I am. That's the ideology.
Price. And once things start getting traded off the Grand Exchange, it's really easy to manipulate prices.
Exactly. Look at this, 8.4, I'm sorry I keep pausing, but 8.4 bill for a pickaxe, 8 bill for a pickaxe? You gotta be crazy. You're not making that sale. There's no way someone's buying that for 8 bill. Did you hear that? My Google just fucking popped off. The fuck?
The Reddits and forums with fake transactions, and it's really easy to pump up the price of these items. Do I think that's happening? Honestly, to a certain extent, yes. I don't think that's happening to every single piece of third age. I think a lot of this is also hype of other players buying in and hoping that these items shoot up just as much, which so far they are, but I would just say if you are considering buying one of these items, I would be very, very careful.
I wouldn't. I would not buy that. This is likely just clans trying to manipulate each other. Sorry, manipulate the price to benefit off of either other clans or hope that some idiot will buy in, for sure.
Because if an item can go up 3 times in a month, then it can fall just as quickly. So I would definitely think twice about it. One of the reasons that I actually originally got into RuneScape merching is just kind of a general interest in personal finances. Making money, tracking your bank value, making bad decisions. It just kind of all clicked. So I was really excited actually when Rocket Money wanted to work with me, as I find their app so useful. Today's video sponsor, Rocket Money, is an all-in-one platform that will completely simplify your finances. This app allows you to manage your subscriptions, lower bills,
It'd be good for those that
budgets, and
haven't got their shit together in life. Look at that.
I have way too many monthly subscriptions, and yes, a lot of those are RuneScape memberships, but I can't believe honestly how many other subscriptions I had stacked up. Rocket Money makes it really easy to identify those unwanted subscriptions and cancel them with a single click of a button. You can even upload your bills to the app and they will attempt to negotiate a better deal for you.
How the fuck are you going to do that? Not in Australia, you ain't doing that shit. Hell no.
Not only can Rocket Money save you money every month, but they offer an amazing suite of tools to help track your finances as well. You can set up monthly budgets that can be broken down even by category, which I find super helpful. You can track all of your cash, debts, or investments right in the app, which will allow you to track your net worth every month. Kind of like the GE. So I can refresh this page constantly and hope it goes up.
Pay from Rocket Money for the ad?
Money incredibly useful, and I would
if I'm going to use Flipping Oldschool's video to react to, at least I can do is play a sponsor, right?
rocketmoney.com/flipping.
If you have any spending problems, there you go. Go to his video, click the description link.
Premium. And thank you so much to Rocket Money for sponsoring.
Thank you for Flipping Oldschool for the video.
Okay, now it's time to jump into some recent developments. This one is recent as 3 hours ago. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is Forester's rations. This is a really unique item for a couple reasons. Firstly, it's one of the few items in Old School that doesn't have its main purpose added to the game yet. Because Forestry was split into 2 parts.
So this is actually a pretty controversial item. I guess it's not. We're not here to talk about Forestry, but a lot of people reckon that with the 2-handed axes, it's kind of, we haven't experienced it yet because the beta keeps failing. But if it does feel like from the way that it's worded that 2-handed axes are going to be really inconvenient to use unless you have a fuck ton of rations, and even then it feels like you should be consuming rations before you consume run energy. It does feel a bit weird the way it's going to work, but I don't think people have a whole lot of hope in the ration system. Hey, if you have spending problems, you probably shouldn't spend $80 a month for it. That's true.
Reason they decided to put Forester's rations in part 1, even though they don't really have a use yet. Ever since June, they've just been floating around 400 to 300 GP, waiting for part 2 to be added. Well, part 2 is coming soon, but today they've just notified us that rations are being changed in a way that you're able to make them now with any cooked fish or meat, and the better quality of item you use, the more rations you're going to get. So much so that from a single inventory of crafting the rations, you can get upwards of 1,000 almost in a single inventory. So they've kind of trivialized obtaining rations, and because of that, they've tanked to only 50 gold pieces per ration. Once again, these items have pretty much no use. They're just in the game waiting for an update. But rumors and now news
that's gonna suck if you invested
the
in
price
that.
Around quite a lot.
All these people here, these guys suck. You all lose. This guy here, look at this. 40,000 being traded, being sold. That's what 50k was sold because they bottomed the fuck out because they bought them all here when they rose. You guys will never learn.
Now this month we did actually get one new item, the Warped Scepter. This item comes from the Warped Tortoises and the Warped Terrorbirds. Is an item that's filling the gap between the Iban Staff and the Trident. It's from a Slayer monster though, so it dropped very quickly to being around only 200k each.
Yep.
Probably will fall down to alch value eventually, which, well, hopefully it's not 1. We'll see though, it might not be a very popular Slayer task, and maybe it'll retain some value.
Yeah, I don't even know if the superiors on that task even work, because everything I've read about them, they pretty much don't exist. But yeah, Warp Scepter, everyone was trying to like farm them. Even like you'd have like max mains in Torva farming them for some reason, thinking they're going to make a profit off of these. There's no way these were ever going to be valuable. These are going to drop, absolutely, because it's a great weapon, but it's mid-game trash. That's what it is, right? It showed in the rewind, bro. What do you mean? Rewind the video? What for? The price of the sponsor? I don't really care, to be honest. Like, I'm not arguing against your point, Julian. You're all good. How many charges does the scepter hold? I don't actually know. I think you can hold like 20,000, 25,000. I've loaded it the fuck up. Oh, you're talking to me. Oh, you weren't talking to me. Okay, that's fine.
Another interesting item that we have to look at this month, mole slippers.
Yeah, look at these boys, eh?
Currently worth 1.2 mil, making it by far now the most expensive item you can get from a beginner clue scroll.
Absolutely.
If you look over the last quarter, it's gone from 100k up to 1.1.
I want to make it clear that I have absolutely nothing to do with this, and I have no idea why this is happening before people start pointing fingers.
So gone up over 10 times in value, but why? Well, although people will tell you it's the best in slot slippers,
they are, it's true.
It's really just a meme item that has been purchased by the community of a Australian content creator. We'll just let you guess which one. Either way, it's a nice little treat now when you do a beginner clue and actually get something valuable.
Yeah.
Maybe this would actually help you afford a bond in free-to-play. Except...
just to clarify, the rumor that I've heard is that they will be worth more than primordial boots within the next 24 months, or unsubscribe to the channel. I don't know, because I don't make the news, I just report it. The GE stuff is sent to me. I report on it, but yeah, it's all the myths of Wade Green. I don't invest myself because I play Ironman exclusively, but yeah, apparently 1 mil is just the beginning, and 3 mil by the end of the year, 30 mil by the end of next year. That's the rumor. If they were worth more than prims, the high level community would be in shambles. That's all I'm saying.
It won't, because bonds
Shane's
are
people,
literally
strings,
almost
exactly.
10 mil. We are getting so close to a 10 mil bond. It's crazy. Earlier today, one sold for 9.8 mil.
Right, doing God's work, exactly. But don't Google it.
A week, a month, we will have a 10 mil bond for the first time ever. So really, you'll have to get 9 mole slippers before you can afford a bond, which might take a while.
9? Or if you wait a little bit, due to inflation, bonds will probably be, what, like 11 mil by the end of next year? You could probably get 3 bonds for a pair of mole slippers in a couple of years.
Now, another interesting trend I've noticed for the last couple of months is the price of potions.
Actually, I didn't even think about that. That's actually really good for free-to-play players, hey? Because free-to-play players can do beginner clues and get mole slippers. So that's actually... Huh. It's not bad.
Get 9 mole slippers before we can afford a bond, which might take a while. Now, another interesting trend I've noticed for the last couple of months is the price of potions. They have gotten so expensive. Like the ranging potion, for example, is at 3k each, which has only really been hit before back in 2018. Stamina potions are ridiculously expensive right now. They're at an all-time high, well, they were a couple weeks ago anyway, of 13,000 each, which is way more expensive than
Look at that, man. 4 million traded. Was this on a daily basis? Stamina potions are just like so fucking powerful. What the hell happened here? Is this TOA? 2001? What happened there? They just died off here. The game must have just been like no fun here, right? I guess because Tob was feeding staminas, right? So it didn't matter. You didn't need them for that raid. But look at that, man. That's so crazy.
Actually incredible how much they are. Super combat potions, 16,000 each for these bad boys. Pretty much an all-time.
It's funny that, hey, super combats are 16k, yet Torstol seeds and Torstol herbs are in the bin. We explained this to the other stream, but for those who are completely unaware, yes, Torstol is being printed into the game because of raids and must-bar, but because of the Torstol dipping, your Qualms and your Catatines, super defense, super strength, and super attacks are all up in value, almost like tenfold. Like, super defense pots were like 200 GP each, now they're nearly 2k. Super strengths are 3-4k each, super attacks are 3-4k each as well. So, while herbs and seeds are being printed into the game, the potions, the end result that you want, still the same value, if not more. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that seeds and herbs are being pumped into the game, really. Like, you still get the same money for the super combat.
I'm high, barring like the Theater of Blood release back in 2018. Another really expensive potion now, the Bastion potion.
Yep.
This thing has gone up so much, especially this year.
I wonder if that's because of tie farming.
6,000 each. Now they're 35,000.
Because
upwards of.
I guess it doesn't make sense because Zami grapes are more accessible now because of tie farming, but also it probably gives people more incentive to do it. Maybe that's got nothing to do with it. It might just be because Tob is being less utilized. The Scythe is becoming more utilized, so people are driving up the price of Scythe charges, which includes Bloods of Val, which includes Bastion potions. So Val of Blood goes up, Bastion potion goes up, even if it's just for the purpose of Scythe. So that could be also, that's probably more likely the reason when I think about it, actually.
40,000 for a single Bastion potion.
September,
Supplies are expensive. Really, I think most of these potions have just shot up so much because of the large amount of
Possibly,
combat
Johnny,
updates
yeah,
we've
but
had,
people
like
trying to
Teams
make
of
money too.
Mascot.
Yeah, it'd probably be
Pretty
Desert
stock
Treasure
standard
doing it.
answer, but I feel like when a lot of these items started to shoot up is around when Raids 3 came out, or other pretty major pieces of PVM content.
Yeah.
Now, one of the most asked questions I've seen in the last month or two is really concerning the Twisted Bow and the Tunic Shadow. These two items are almost the same price right now at nearly 1.5 bill, but why are they so expensive and why are they continuing to go up? The Twisted Bow in particular.
Opinion, Meta, Blood Torva, Tombs of Mascot, Chambers of Xeric. Key items. It's more like, because it's the meta, there is no limit on what the price could be. Because while the Bofa is better value and a great weapon, and in my opinion the best range weapon for GP in the game, the Bofa with Full Crystal absolutely outweighs the T-Bow. The T-Bow is still better damage per second, still better damage potential, and still more effective in endgame content. And with no competitor beyond that, the price is whatever people want it to be.
Particular is quite interesting. If we look at the historical price of the Twisted Bow, it was at its all-time low around here, but ignore
What? Did you guys see that? Look at that, man. Go back. 870 mil for a T-Bow. If you bought a T-Bow then, for the idiots that sold here, you suck. But if you bought a T-Bow then, you are a lucky and a smart individual. That is a good fucking purchase. 800 fucking mil.
It is all-time low around here, but ignore this. This isn't
That is
properly
rough.
tracked data. But we can see when RuneLite started tracking Grand Exchange data, how many Twisted Bows were traded on the Grand Exchange. But then we got the Grand Exchange tax, which cut down the amount traded tremendously. So there's less going through the Grand Exchange, and overall,
because
I think
what
less
people would
are
be doing is they would buy a T-Bow, and then when they go to log off, they would sell it. That way they don't lose money overnight. Oh, I bought it for 870 mil. What if it goes to 850? Cowards is what I like to call them. But because there's a tax now, it costs money to do that, and it wasn't worth it. So you either buy a T-Bow and you keep it, or you just don't buy one at all.
Chambers of Xeric as well, which means just the supply of Twisted Bows has gone down since 2021 when it was at an all-time low. Now on top of that, we have the Grand Exchange item sync, which has been removing Twisted Bows slowly from the game. But
do we get
updates
updates on that?
Modash actually revealed the Twisted Bow sync was turned off like months ago. So we're not even getting
that was
the
in
Twisted
May.
Bows
Months ago in May. So this is like, we're talking start of the year.
sunk from Grand Exchange tax. So it's really just all natural increases at this point. And I think in this case, it really just stems from how...
Sorry for constantly pausing, but do we know about the Grand Exchange item sync? Like, do we get information from Jarex on what's being sunk and what isn't? I'm not sure if they should share that information, because if they do, then it just manipulates the market further, right? Because then people will just... The price of the items that are getting sunk will just naturally go up based on that opinion. I've seen one, but I don't go looking for it. Yeah, I don't know either. Once in a while they do it, right? Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if it's like every 6 months or something. They release the information, but yeah, you got to be careful, because people are just gonna. If you see that they're sinking T-Bows, that people are just gonna go up in price. The T-Bow. If you find out T-Bow's not being sunk, they're probably gonna reduce it in price. You know, just because people are gonna worry about panic selling. That's all it is panic selling and panic buyers just eating each other out on stream, basically. So, yeah, I don't know if I would like to see some information on what they're actually deleting from the game, because they could not be deleting anything. We wouldn't have a fucking clue. They could just say they are.
Good the Twisted Bow is still, how rare it is, and just general inflation of the RuneScape gold piece. The Shadow is a bit different, and Shadow actually surprises me a little bit more. Compared to Chambers, there are way more Tombs of a Mascot runs done per day. It's a much more popular raid. And in theory, the Shadow should be
It's a much shitter raid, but much more popular.
More common. But interestingly, if we look at the amount traded per day, it's actually really similar. There's around 300 Shadows traded per day and around a similar amount of Twisted Bows traded per day.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm not sure if that's pointing at the amount of them in the game being similar, the rate that they're entering being similar, but the volume is very similar. The Shadow is once again an incredibly powerful weapon that is used at a ton of different content, similar to the Twisted Bow.
Yeah, it
and has a bit of a bias
Magic.
of more recent content requiring the Shadow, like the Whisperer and the Tombs of a Mascot. Really, at this point, kind of take your bets on which one is going to be worth more in the future, but very interesting how their trend has remained.
I would say if they don't nerf the shadow, which I am of the opinion that the shadow should be nerfed. I think it is absolutely fucked. I love that it's fucked. Don't get me wrong, but it's bad. I think they should nerf the shadow. If they don't do that, the shadow is likely going to keep rising. Like the Whisperer is the most likely to give uniques from the Desert Treasure 2 bosses. Does that make it the fastest to kill? I'm not entirely sure if it's worth killing it because it's that much faster as opposed to like Vardavis. But if that's the case, because of that logic, then you could argue the shadow is probably going to stay consistent because Virtus robes are a lot more expensive than I anticipated them to be for sure, which is surprising. T-Bow is probably just a more practical weapon. It's not really that expensive to charge and is usable, and it's more practical to use it with Missouri because Missouri is tankier than Ancestral. But yeah, they're probably both going to be competing for 1.4 / the most expensive combat item for a while.
Pretty similar overall. Now the final items I wanted to have a look at were actually the Desert Treasure 2 drops, specifically the ring drops, because they're actually using a very unique drop system that no other content has seen before.
Yeah, hopefully no other content uses it again because it's fucking shit.
You have to roll the ring drop 3 times to actually receive the drop, which means the likelihood that you get the ring at a very low kill count, incredibly rare now, but also conversely, the chance that you'll go very dry to get the ring is also incredibly rare. So everything's been squeezed to be a lot more closer to the average. So what does that have to do with the prices? Well, let's just first have a look at them. The Magus ring is the cheapest right now.
These are so expensive, man. Like 80 mil for the Magus ring is nuts. I'm surprised that that they're this expensive. That is so much for that ring. It's crazy. The ring isn't even that good. That is insane, man.
70 mil, but it's actually
I
gone
would not
up
be paying that
over
kind
this
of money.
month, and it's remained incredibly consistent ever since the first couple of weeks. The Altar ring has actually gone up a fair bit this month.
Altar ring as
peaking
well.
At
It's
210
crazy.
mil, and it started at 160. Again, remaining very consistent and actually gaining value
The Venator
ever
ring,
since
that
August.
should not be that. This is a joke. Where the fuck are you using the Venator ring in the game that is like effective? What content do you use where it is ranged only? Where the light bearer doesn't like provide a substantial benefit? Maybe Olm, that's it. But that's Olm head phase. You're not going to use it for the entire Olm fight. It is nuts to me that this is a thing at 200 mil. So the Ring of Suffering will remain on top, lol. I would say the light bearer would be in front of Ring of Suffering, but yeah, like it is incredible that people are willing to pay 200 mil for a Venator ring that it's really just far too impractical to be using. It's insane. What is it, a 2% max hit? That makes it really only viable when using, you could argue blowpipe, but blowpipe shit, let's be honest, we're not using that. Maybe the T-Bow, that's it. So I just don't, yeah, that is bizarre to me. Like, you're not speedrunning, but you've got that mindset, oh, what if speedrunners use it? You're not a speedrunner, right? Let's be real. The rings don't seem worth it to me. Maybe Bellator for Tob, but other than that, yeah, that's most likely it, man. Because of the way the scythe works too. And there's any rings but suffering for Zora after getting light barrier. That's, well, I mean, if you don't have the money for this, it's because you're broke as shit, let's be real. But it is a lot of money for a lot of nothing. That's the reality of the situation, right? That's really what it is. So it is amazing to me that these are still going for these prices and people are willing to buy them. That is fucking nuts.
Same thing with the Venator ring. It's up a fair bit this month as well, going from 90 mil to 130. Just generally.
Oh, it was down to 90 mil. Good. It should be dropping more. The fact that it's at 130 is insane, though. That's crazy.
Seen over the last couple of months.
Magus ring for TOA, though. +4 max hit. Okay. Yes, but you could argue that the light bearer. I mean, it depends on how skilled you are at TOA. I don't know. I think it varies. You're not going to use it in Baba. You're not going to use it in most of Kefri. If you do Zebak first, you're not going to use it in Zebak, so it depends on how you lay the room out. In Wardens, yeah, you would take a ring switch, I would say. The Magus ring. Magus? You'd take that switch, I would say, because I think it depends on your setup too. You could argue that, for sure. Where else, though? I would say Whisperer, you would use it. But you wouldn't take it to Zora. I don't imagine you'd use it in Cox. It's not worth it. Altar is the only one that can really make sense. Altar is the one that increases slash, right, in strength? Is that correct? I wouldn't even take the altar to top. I don't feel like the scythe is that terrible in top that the altar's worth it. Do people really use it in there? Like, the scythe's hitting no matter what in top. You'd only use the Magus ring if you have the shadow, yeah. Like, using it before that is not worth it. I don't think. Altar is just strength. Oh, is it just if the altar is just strength? Oh, Bellator ring's what I'm thinking. Altar is just strength. Yeah, I can see people using that on the site because of the way that runs. Yeah, in top, that would make sense. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, my apologies.
Bellator ring also has gone up this month and has remained very consistent. So why would these drop rate mechanics potentially stabilize the price of these items? Well, in a hypothetical scenario, let's say the Whisperer was killed 1,000,000 times. That kill count is spread out between tens of thousands of players. Most of them have not even gotten close to the drop rate. With the previous dropping system, a lot of players would have actually gotten extremely lucky, gotten the ring within the first couple hundred kills, but now that's not very common at all. Way less are coming to the game at an early kill count, which means you kind of have to stick around to the boss for a long time to actually get the drop, which means the actual quantity of these items coming into the game is much, much less.
I saw someone got the Altar ring from Vardavus. Is it Altar from Vardavus? The Vardavus ring in 12 KC. 12 KC. If Altar had Crash Bonus, then maybe solid cogs of Inquisitors. Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely. Yep. Merchant Mystics. Yeah, flipping old school is Merchant Mystics. Man, he's done 700 fucking Whisperer kills in this setup. This man is insane. He hasn't even got an imbued heart. This man is, what the fuck are you merching? Is he not meant to be making money? Does flipping osrs not merch? I'm not here to rag entirely on your setup, dude, but you are broke as shit. Where's your fucking rune power? What the f... He's using cheese potatoes? This man is insane. I honestly love it. He didn't do all kills with that gear just for the vid. Can you prove it? Rebuild video? Maybe. I don't know. I love it. Whatever it is, I love it. But yeah, I would say it's actually just a kill of the video because he hasn't got any prayer pots on him. He did a rebuild with a Trident. I respect it. He has a vid. Well, I don't watch his content really, so that would make more sense. I love it. Clippers from a vid where he rebuilds. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the context.
The drop, which means the actual quantity of these items coming into the game is much, much less. That on top of
Ancient
just
Brews? I guess so, yeah, but it's not really a whole lot of
kept
prayer
their
from them.
value pretty high,
Waste of Ancient
even though
Brew,
the
in my
bosses
opinion.
farmed a lot on release. These bosses are still some of the best money in the game right now,
Absolutely.
but their uniques have retained pretty good value in comparison to other newly released bosses. And the final factor is these bosses don't offer a lot in the way of consistent money, which means pretty much most of their value comes from these unique items, which is helping propping up the price.
Absolutely. I think that's a better way to do boss drop tables is to not do a Vorkath Zoro Musbar, because you guys, idiots like you in the chat, you're all like, oh, just 300k a kill. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's good, but that's kind of like shit. Like that, God Wars dungeon bosses have a good drop table system. It's less gold per kill, of course, but guess what? Their uniques don't crash. They are always valuable and always worth farming, except for Zami because bum gay. So I think this is a better way. You should be rewarded for big drops, not rewarded for every single kill you do, in my opinion. So it's a shame about the Nightmare, unfortunately, because they should really have a double drop roll on the Nightmare. But yeah, I think that's a better way to do the bosses. Maintains value in the items a lot longer. I feel like skilling might be worth it more for GP if all bosses had a Gobbler's Dungeon drop table like Zoro and Vorkath. I think it's not bad to have both. There's nothing wrong with having the Zoro and Vorkaths and Mustbars in the game. It's just, it's ridiculous and bad to expect every boss and to hope every boss is like Zoro, Vorkath, and Mustbar. It's good to have both. I think all 4 Desert Treasure 2 bosses being not absolute fucking cash cows from every kill was a really good move by Jagex. I'd imagine there was no other way to do it. But yeah, that was the play for sure. Because otherwise you would have had 4 big boys just farming gold, you know? What Gold Wars dungeon would you suggest to learn? All of them. Nightmare and Next is a good example of reared on uniques while blowing through supplies and not getting 350k per kill on resources. Yeah, exactly. The bronze change drop, I know, right? The bronze javelins, dude.
But guys, that is it for today's market analysis. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
I like it.
And I'll see you next month.
Shout out to the Mole Slippers. Yeah, apparently they're going up. You know, we're looking at 30 mil by the end of the year, apparently. But yeah, no, that's a good.
But we're gonna have to leave that to the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching as always, and I will see you in the next episode.
So he's not ticking off items. That's cool.
A giant thank you to the channel members over on YouTube.
I'm flipping OSRs.
Thank you so much to Alejandra,
yeah,
Mitch
that's good,
Reinders,
mate. I appreciate it.
Hybrid.
That's a good fucking video. I'm I don't watch a whole lot of flipping old schools videos, but I do like the market manipulation ones, especially. Here's the link if you guys do want to check it out and go show some support if you haven't already. Hit the like button and all that stuff. I can't even see links on my screen, so hopefully that came through for you guys. But good video nonetheless. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.